Titanfall.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? DOGMANDAN here. A little Titanfall 2. So, I did the full playthrough of the single-player campaign there. After picking the game up, it's actually only $2.99 for the base game right now. It's on Amazon that way, or you can get it directly from Origin that way. Your kind of preference. I did it because Janzer had suggested that I go play it. It was right up my alley, and I mean, at $2.99 I couldn't go wrong, so I said, what the heck, why not? So feel free, if you haven't seen it, to go and check out the full, just straight playthrough that I did. It actually took me about 6 hours to get through it, in terms of the initial playthrough. I did it on just a regular setting, first time doing it. I hadn't really seen any information on the campaign or anything like that, so I haven't actually, when I said blind playthrough, I actually meant blind playthrough. And I managed to get like 33 out of the 50 achievements from Origin on the first run, but I'm definitely going back for a second run. Going to try the hard mode, going to try to find all the helmets, you know, all those things, because overall I really enjoyed the campaign. I thought the thing was done phenomenally. Multiplayer, I have no idea, didn't touch it, not really what my biggest thing was. I'm definitely into wanting to play single player, well, not necessarily single player, but like campaigns. I do really enjoy those campaigns. So like I said, you know, quick review wise, I think they did a phenomenal job on that. Had they actually done it the first game and then just kind of kept going with it in the second game, that would have been even better, but that's fine. There might be a Titanfall 3 coming soon, so maybe they'll have a even bigger campaign going on to it, because I think that's one of the biggest things that game companies are lacking, is the lack of the campaigns, and everybody's going for multiplayer all the time, and there's nothing wrong with multiplayer. It's just that for my money's worth, I don't feel like I've got a full game unless I've got a good game that has a very good, solid campaign. And not a campaign where you're buying 600 DLCs on top of it, but, you know, a solid campaign. Anyway, so I played the Titanfall, $2.99 right now. I think it's a great deal to buy it. I mean, if you figure at $3 and it takes you the average playthrough about 6 hours, you've spent 50 cents an hour to play the game, even if you only play it one time. There's nothing wrong with that deal at all. Now, like I said, I'm going to go back because there's more achievements I haven't gotten, like a bunch of achievements that are in the hard mode, and then going back and trying to find all the helmets and doing all that stuff. I think so. There's definitely a lot of replayability there. It is not the easiest to play. Sometimes you kind of get caught up in the movement. It's kind of a little bit crazy and awkward initially. But overall, once you get your key bindings set up the way that they fit for you, or if you just try to keep them just as they are in game and you get adjusted to it, it's actually not too bad. It's like I said, it's pretty well done. Definitely enjoyed it. If you haven't seen my playthrough, you know, you're welcome to go back. Like I said, check out my whole playthrough. It's something to watch while you're sitting around not doing anything, and it's just based off of me. And when I look at it and I think about where I'm at now, versus where I was maybe, let's say, 10 years ago in trying to play a first-person shooter game or an FPS style game, or any type of shooter style game, I was horrible back then. Absolutely horrible. For me, I had really just played mostly racing games, and I was horrid at some of these FPS games and shooter games and such. And so for me to be able to play it now and play it, it was great. Now it's not saying that there wasn't a share of bugs. I had a couple bugs. I had a couple missions that bugged out. I had to replay particular missions. Of course, you die. You know, I'm not perfect, so I left all those parts where I died in there was no really need to edit that out. I feel like if I'm going to do a playthrough, you're going to see the good and the bad with regards to it. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's not horrible. I think Respawn did a great job. Sure, I'm not fond of EA still, but for the game, for the price, you know what? It's really not a bad deal. So check it out. Feel free to leave comments, questions below. Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited after playing that to see what a third title would be. And maybe I would get into the multiplayer, depending upon what the multiplayer is. I mean, I know you can play this game as a co-op too, if I remember correctly. Reading that, you can actually play this. Yeah, you could play the thing with your friends, I think, and even in the single player or the campaign, you could play with your friends, if I am correct.
We must stop the IMC from using the full
But
weapon
don't
at
hold
all
me to
costs.
that.
If we fail, the militia planet of Harmony will
Yeah,
be
I think you
destroyed.
can if I remember reading it correctly. Anyway, so check it out. If you have any questions about my playthrough there, please feel free to ask me about that as well. It's worth a pickup. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in.